Anime. I've been really getting into anime in the past couple of years, mostly because it's been rising in popularity and it is best in life to try your best to get interested in many different things as possible. I've studied so much Western animation for all my life that Japanese animation was just something I put off. But I always heard from people how good anime is, and it made me curious to see more. And since it's May or anime, I wanted to do a video on anime. So, I think it's time to talk about some. For fun, I watched 30 different anime. Not every single episode of them. In fact, I'll make a note on each one how much I watched. But I watched each one enough to understand what their show is about and their characters. Like a minimum of me watching 5 episodes per anime. And for fun, I wanted for Right Animation Review 30 to review 30 of them. For a change, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. This is a spoiler-free review. I'm not gonna do this like Cartoon Network 64 or DuckTales to DuckTales where I talk about the whole show in depth because that would be a fucking ridiculous amount of time. But rather, I'm gonna just talk about each of these anime for 1 minute. Some might be a little under a minute, some might be a little over a minute, but the general idea is that each show in question gets a bit of a mention on what they are about as a whole. Some background for me. I only saw a couple of anime growing up, and only in high school is where I really got into anime. For most of my life, I was into Western, and my favorite cartoon of all time is a Western. But there are 2 anime on the list that make my top 10 favorite cartoons of all time. You'll see what they are towards the end. Anyways, when I made friends back in my high school, they told me about anime, and I watched the ones that they recommended to me. We'll review them in chronological order, and I'll rank them all worst to best at the very end. As a bonus, I'll mention my favorite episode of each anime as well as my favorite character. By the way, I'm looking at the English dub for each of these, unless they were ones that didn't have it, but that only applies one anime on this list. I prefer English dubs because I rather listen to people with words I know than constantly read the text on screen. Anyways, let's begin. Number 1. Stop! Hibari-kun. Stop! Hibari-kun is an anime about a trans woman in the 1980s. The actual protagonist is Kosuke Sakamoto. Most of this anime is praised for its gay rap, and I agree with that. Yeah, you could argue that that is transphobic, but this anime literally came out in the 1980s and it was illegal at the time to be gay. Not to mention it was culturally unacceptable, so I can let it slide. Plus he's in the wrong. Better get him, white alligators. Unfortunately, the issue comes from when it's not focused on the gay rap. Sometimes this show has some really outdated racism, like it's tug your shirt bad. And not every character was the best in memorability, but that could just be me not fully memorizing them for not speaking English. Yeah, this is the one anime that didn't have an English dub ever. My favorite episode is honestly the pilot episode, She is an Idol? Because I just think it's a perfect way to introduce Hibari herself, and my favorite character is Hibari herself. Number 2, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is the magical girl show that more or less started off the popularity of magical girl shows. While it wasn't the absolute first ever anime magical girl show, it's pretty much the first ever popular one. This anime is kinda corny. Usagi is the worst magical girl protagonist ever. She ducks at being a magical girl, and she's always constantly crying. Also, she doesn't really save the day. It's usually the other Sailor Scouts that do her work. Why does Luna think she's the one then? It is still fun to make fun of. I saw both the Dick and Viz dubs of the 1990s show. My favorite episode is episode 10 because it introduces Sailor Mars, and she's the only one that truly doesn't put up with Usagi's shit. And Sailor Mars is the best Sailor Scout. Number 3. Legend of Snow White. Legend of Snow White is a 1994 anime based on the Snow White tale. It's a good adaptation of the story, but the problem is at times it gets a little too depressing. I'm fine with the 1937 version with Snow White's backstory, but in this anime, they try to go a little more in-depth with the beginning and showcasing Snow White's mother dying and how her father got lost in the war, and how the evil queen came to power, and the evil queen's stepmother forces Snow to get rid of her cat and dog. I do like some new things, like the prince being more developed, though we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with them. I really wish we could have had an anime where we spent more time with the prince. Snow can't cook in this version, though she tries and fails, but she does get better at cooking in later episodes. My favorite episode is episode 7 where Snow White tries to have Grumpy like her, and my favorite characters are Snow White and the prince. I do like Grumpy's reasoning for not liking Snow White at first. It makes perfect sense. This anime isn't as good as the 1937 film, but is infinitely better than the 2025 movie. Number 4, Pokemon. Pokemon is one of the first anime that I have ever watched. Kind of. I only saw bits and pieces as a kid, but I never saw it fully because my brother, who is older than me, played all the games, and because Pokemon didn't have extra files, I wasn't allowed to play the games. So that pissed off kid me, and my family couldn't afford copies of the same game. So I never really cared about the franchise until like high school, and only last year did I watch all season 1. The original Pokemon can be considered a different series from the current Horizon series, but I'm not fully sure on that stuff. It's mostly because the new series doesn't involve Ash. The anime is about a kid named Ash wanting to collect every single Pokemon and want to be the Pokemon champion. As the theme song goes, I wanna be the very Pokemon in itself is good, but it's not really my thing. I wasn't even that big of a fan of Ash or even Misty. Misty is standoffish and has sexism aspect, and Ash is a dweeb. And Brock is just Glenn Quagmire from Family Guy, but in anime and as a kid. I watched the English 4Kids dub, and the best thing about him is the meme.
These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
Did you know that there was a deleted episode from season 1 where Team Rocket had actual fucking guns? And apparently that episode had continuity, so when the later episodes aired on 4Kids, kids were actually confused because they don't know how Ash caught a certain swarm of Pokemon. My favorite episode is either episode 25, Primeape Goes Bananas, or episode 70, Go West Young Meowth. My favorite characters are the Team Rocket trio, Jessie, James, and Meowth. Number 5, Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is a magical girl anime about a girl named Sakura who has to try to find all the Clo cards after she accidentally releases them all from a book. I like the idea of a magical girl anime where instead of learning spells or regular magic, it is the cards that are the magic. This kinda helps with the popular trend of things like Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time or other anime involving cards. But they were for boys and there were none for girls. My favorite character is Tomoyo because she's so cute and funny. Number 6, Magical Do-Re-Mi. Magical Do-Re-Mi is a magical girl show that made me realize, oh yeah, magical girl shows used to be just for little girls and not just for adults. This is a TVY preschool show, same age rating as stuff like Arthur and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Doremi Harukaze is a 3rd grade Japanese girl that finds a magic shop one day, basically sees a witch in there and tells her that she is a witch, then this causes the witch to turn into a funny green goo. This forces the witch to teach Doremi how to become a witch. Yeah, it's a magical girl show with the girls as witches. It's a very cute show. My only problem is that the protagonist herself can get annoying at times, especially with her little sister. Honestly, I like Hazuki Fujiwara and Aiko Sano more because they're a lot better with their magic. They're cuter and have much more interesting personalities than our protagonists. Oh, and by the way, in the English dub, they changed the names up. Some anime do that for some reason, like how in Sailor Moon they changed Usagi's name to Serena to appeal to American audiences. I watched the English dub, which is why I didn't recognize the names when writing this review because research gave different names. Their English names are Doremi as Dory Goodwin, Hazuki as Renee Griffin, and Aiko is Mirabelle Haywood. Their English names are like that to make a pun for the title of the show. For this review, I'll use their Japanese names because that is the original name and more respected called them by the original name. My favorite episode is episode 2, I Became Hazuki-chan, with the body swap. And my favorite character is Hazuki Fujiwara. Number 7, One Piece. Alright, so I saw One Piece, the East Blue Saga at least. It's about a young adult named Luffy who wants to find the One Piece, which is a nickname given to a legendary treasure that will make you the richest person in the world. He gathers a crew to help him try to find the treasure. I must admit that this is not a show for me. It has over 1,000 episodes. Yeah, not watching that. And the first 12 episodes only had like 5 episodes of content. I get that people say that it's like this because it's developed character more, but if you're gonna be that long, I'd rather watch a comedy like Family Guy or SpongeBob SquarePants where you don't have to watch 1,000 episodes to memorize continuity. Family Guy and SpongeBob have a lot of episodes, but you can watch almost any episode in any order you want and have a good time. You can't do that for One Piece. That reason alone is why I'll never finish One Piece. I plan on watching more of the series, but it's gonna be a while, and I have to be in the right mood for it. My favorite episode is episode 20, King of the Busboys. Famous cook, Sanji of the Sea restaurant. My favorite character is Nami. Number 8, Hamtaro. Hamtaro is about a cute little hamster going on silly adventures. Hamtaro has his own Laura take good care of him while she writes in her journal at the end of each day what she did and imagines what her hamster did as well, and always states that each day is going to be better than the last. I love seeing Laura make friends. Episode 5, Diamond and Sugar is my favorite for the two families bonding, and my favorite characters are both Hamtaro and Laura. Number 9, Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is an anime about Sasuke Mina Noshida moving to a new school, and she discovers that there is an old school building there adjacent to the current one that is filled with haunted ghosts. The show I heard was originally meant to be super serious, but when it got dubbed in North America, there were apparently some sort of translation errors because this was the early 2000s and people didn't know how to handle that stuff properly back then. So the people behind the show went like,
we'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
And that's how the anime was made. The only rules that the original Japanese people gave about this was not to change any of the names of the humans or the ghosts. And also don't change how the ghosts are slain or the core meaning of any episode. With all that said, they had the characters be as diggish and bitchy as possible. And I love every single second of this.
Come on, jump. I said jump! Nice ass. Do not lust in your heart. Jesus, you're right.
Hold it right there!
Oh, the music teacher. What a bitch.
My favorite episode is episode 9, The Corpse That Roams in the Night, Shuotabi, because it's just super funny to me with the bunny meme.
When he died, I was so sad that I would never hear that voice again. His laugh. His funny little requests.
Touch me.
His reprimands.
Touch me harder.
Number 10, Kirby. Oh look, it's the other anime that I grew up with. Kirby is just basically the video game star in a pink puffball that can eat anything and copy their abilities. In the show, he stays on a single planet and he himself is an alien. The show is 2D, but for whatever reason, King Dedede and Escargoon were always 3D, except on rare occasions when the two became 2D. My favorite episode is episode 47, Cartoon Buffoon, where they make a cartoon episode. My favorite character is either Kirby or King Dedede and Escargoon. Theme song fucking rocks, man. Number 11, Azumanga Daioh is a cute little anime about high school girls living their daily lives, but with the bonus of one of the girls being 10 years old! Because Chio-chan was so smart that she literally skipped all of the nightmare called middle school. See 7 different girls do things like doing the serious exaggerations, doing the sports festival 3 times, having 2 different cultural festivals, and dodge the creepy guy who invented the word waifu.
女の人の写真。綺麗な人やな。誰？
My wife.
My favorite episode of the show is episode 3, Niyamo, because Yukari is the funniest character on the show and it's super to get a whole episode on her as well as the other teacher, Niyamo. Yukari is my favorite character, but if I were to pick one of the students as the best, then Tomo Takeo is my favorite because she's essentially Yukari Jr. Number 12, School Rumble. School Rumble is a slice-of-life romance comedy show that is also about a love triangle between this one girl named Tenma Tsukamoto and the 2 boys named Kenji Harima and Oji Kurasama. Basically, Tenma is in love with Kurasama while Harima is in love with Tenma. But Kurasama never notices Tenma and Tenma never notices Harima. That's basically the whole show. It's stupid, but it's kind of funny stupid. I get a kick out of this. My favorite episode is either the one where Tomo is too embarrassed to leave the bathroom or the one where she became samurai and stops a bad guy by accident. My favorite character is Tenma. Number 13, Penny Pony Dash. Penny Pony Dash is about Rebecca Miyamoto, an 11-year-old child prodigy with strawberry banana yogurt hair who is a high school teacher doing slice-of-life comedy. I think this show was trying to make Azumanga Daioh but with Chio-chan as a teacher. Unfortunately, it didn't quite have the funny charm or memorable characters that made Azumanga fun. I don't care about the fucking bunny. Too pathetic to enjoy. And I didn't like the fact cards. Get off the screen. I'm trying to watch the show. Don't put the facts on there. My favorite episode is episode 7, Walking Big. This is my favorite because pool plots are fun, even if it's just cleaning the pool. My favorite characters are either Becky or Bihomie or number 6. Number 14, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is an anime about Haruhi Suzumiya living her ordinary life with 4 other high school students creating the SOS Brigade Club. Kyon is the straight man that knows nothing about the magic and is the protagonist, technically speaking, but he does not get as much attention. Yuki Nagato is an alien sent to study Haruhi herself. Mikuri Asahina is a time traveler, and Izuki Koizumi is an Esper. I love the slice of life adventure episodes. Not a big fan of the alien stuff, honestly. The people who made the show will literally make Lucky Star. My favorite episode isn't 1 episode, it's actually 8, but it's really 1 episode in disguise. It's known as the Endless 8. Basically, it's summer vacation, but the characters in the universe relive it 15,532 times. And only at the end do they fix it. It's like if Mabel Pines described Fall Dream World, but imagine we live in it over and over again, 15,532 times. My favorite character is Haruhi herself. Number 15, Lucky Star. This one is just cute. Lucky Star is a slice-of-life anime about 4 high school girls with their daily lives. This has the least amount of plot of any anime on this list. It is literally just episode upon episode of the girls talk about anime and food and Comic-Cons and other simple things in life, which is really nice. You see a later group of girls do this as well, loving cute things. My favorite episode of Lucky Star is episode 19, and Konata is the best. Number 16, Madoka Magica. Madoka Magica is a magical girl cartoon about a girl named Madoka who one day runs into a talking magical cat that can create a contract with special types of girls that will allow said girl one wish. And it can be anything that they want. When making a contract, you have to fight these evil witches that only magical girls can see that cause evil in the world. Hamura is this new transfer student that acts a bit creepy and prevents Madoka from making a contract ever. Madoka has friends Sayaka and Hitomi that are both really nice, and I can see why she hangs out with them. She also befriends this new girl that she meets named Mami, who is a magical girl, and we get to see that being a magical girl leads to heroism by preventing people from committing suicide. That's very admirable. My favorite episode is episode 10, I Won't Rely on Anyone Anymore, and my favorite character on the show is Hamura Akemi. Number 17, Nichiju. Nichiju is a slice-of-life anime that mainly focuses on 2 different groups of girls. One being Yuko, Mio, and Mai being 3 ordinary high school girls, and the other being a professor named Hakase, who's an 8-year-old girl with her robot Nano. The 2 girls have a talking cat named Sakamoto. There are other characters that we get some focus on, but not as much as these 5 girls and 1 male cat. My favorite episode is episode 5, and my favorite character is either Mio or Nano, depending on my mood. Number 18, Attack on Titan. Okay, remember when I said that I watched anime back in high school that my friends recommended to me? And you know the saying, first is the worst? Well, that's true for anime, at least for me. Attack on Titan is just too depressing for my taste. I think a way to make sadness work for me is to make sure we genuinely care about the characters before something tragic happens to them. It's also full of depressing shit like Mikasa's parents getting murdered by slave traders, and it has a bunch of that lore shit that I'm not into. This is the anime that I stereotype as the bad, overhyped anime. My favorite episode and character? Well, I did say I'll do this for every single anime on this list. Episode 10 respawns The Struggle for Trust, Part 6, and Eren. Number 19, Danganronpa, the animation. Danganronpa is a psychological horror murder anime where 14 high school students are trapped in a saw-like trap where they have to murder each other to get out. But to successfully get out, you have to murder someone. But you also have to not be caught. When the murder happens, a trial is held, and basically we try to determine who gets the blame. If you murder someone and they figure out you did, you get killed. But if you murder and you don't get caught, then you get the right to leave the school and everyone else dies. But you yourself live. See the crazy situations that these high schoolers get themselves into and the twists and turns this reality throws at you. But be careful not to get truly attached to certain characters. You never know who's gonna get murdered. By the way, the version that I saw was Danganronpa the animation. My favorite episode is episode 5, and my favorite character is Toko Fukawa. Number 20, Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill is the first really good anime that I ever saw the whole way through. I watched this show so early in life that the English dub didn't even come out yet. And then when it did come out on Adult Swim, I saw every single episode on TV. The show is about a 17-year-old girl named Ryuko Matoi who goes to Honnouji Academy to get revenge on her dead father. And she believes the head of the school, Sasuke Kiryuin, is the one to have murdered Ryuko's father. But the school, specifically the Elite Four, prevents Ryuko from doing that. And she has to attend school there and beat everyone if she ever wants to get to Sasuke and discover the truth about her dad's murder. The fight scenes are really well animated, and the dialogue can be corny, but I love it for that. My favorite episode is episode 14, Ride Like the Wind, where the whole episode is about Mako just going around Osaka collecting food. And Mako is my favorite character. Number 21, Assassination Classroom. Assassination Classroom has the best premise for a show ever. Here's the show. Basically, an evil creature wants to destroy the entire Earth at the start of spring next year, and he is invincible in every single way with no missile ever being able to stop him, and his only way that he will prevent it is if a student from this random high school class tries to kill him before time runs out. Oh, and whoever kills him gets $10 billion. Awesome premise. It got me hooked instantly. It was the first anime that I saw in 2025 because hearing about the premise made me excited. And it delivered! Some episodes may be filler-like and not the best, so they're kind of slow, but otherwise, I really love this anime. My favorite episode is either episode 5 or the series finale, and my favorite character is Minamo Ukuda. Number 22, Snow White with the Red Hair. Snow White with the Red Hair is an anime also about Snow White. Kind of. This isn't as explicitly obvious like the 90s version. Her name is actually Shirayuki, but it's literally just Snow White in Japanese. It actually fully translates to White Snow. This anime is about a woman wanting to find her place in the world and helping perfect her skills and wanting to be an herbalist. Sen is also really romantic and he's very understanding of Shirayuki. Remember how for the original Snow White I said the best thing about it was the relationship with the prince and how I wish that was the focus? Well, that's what this anime does. After Shirayuki escapes an evil prince that tried to poison her with an apple, she leaves her home to pursue her dreams better. Zen meets her and the two have a good time. She wants to know him more and vice versa. I love when these two are together helping each other's problems. My favorite episode is episode 10, An Experienced Heart Going Deeper, and my favorite character is Shirayuki. Number 23, Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney is an anime based on a video game with the same name. Basically, it's about a defense attorney named Phoenix Wright in Los Angeles who defends clients accused of murders and does everything in his power to prove them innocent with over-the-top exaggeration and super loud objection! All the while, his cute assistant Maya helps out as Phoenix goes against the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. I couldn't pick a single episode of Ace Attorney that was the best because they usually are in case arcs part of multiple episodes. So I'm gonna pick the train case for my 3 favorite episodes, and Phoenix Wright is my favorite character. Though, if I'm honest, there is one thing I love more than the actual product, and that's the bloopers. Ace Attorney has the best bloopers ever.
But what if it turns out that Ron Delight isn't really mask to mask after all?
Oh, because his wife said he was delusional? Come on, Nick, she's not even that hot!
And she's fine, she's prettier than you. I don't buy it. Something doesn't add up. Oh shit, that's a mental line.
Tell us, Phoenix Wright.
What exactly do you stand for? Tell me, do you even have an answer for that question?
Huh? Well,
Dickless.
What do I stand for? Pancakes? I like pancakes. I stand for pancakes.
I never get tired of these, and you should really watch them if you love bloopers. Number 24, My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is an anime where a bunch of superheroes go to school to learn how to do their powers better for the world. This reminds me of that Fairy Odd Parents episode, The Big Superhero Wish. It's like that episode, but for a whole anime. The show also reminds me of that movie from 20 years ago called Sky High. Anyone remember that movie? I heard there's a spin-off called Vigilantes, but I have not seen that. My favorite episode is episode 1, Izuku Midoriya Origin. Number 25, Little Witch Academia. Little Witch Academia is about Atsuko Kaguri, or Akko for short, going to a magic school to become a witch. The thing is, it's fine on paper, and this was a really good anime when I first saw it. My favorite episode is episode 8, Akko in Sushi Land, and my favorite character is Sushi. Number 26, Blend-S. Blend-S is an anime about Maika Sakura Normoya, who is a cute girl but can sometimes do a scary face. And that's enough to make a meme out of. Yeah, the theme song of this show is a meme. This one wasn't really that interesting, but I did go out of my way to watch it fully just because it was short. It's kinda boring, and the guy in charge is a major pervert. Unlike Kimura or Konata's dad, which is on the side of their anime, this one is more of a focus and it disgusts me. My favorite episode is episode 8, an idol character 2, and my favorite character is Hidori Kanzaki. He's just fun overall. Number 27, Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Kaguya-sama, Love is War is a romance anime. Basically, Kaguya Shinomima and Miyuki Shirogane love each other, but neither one wants to admit it to one another. There's a legend stating that whoever confesses their love first to another will be the unlucky one of the couple, and the other will be all dominant forever. You would lose, per se, if you were the one to confess first, and Chika is there as the referee. I'm not too big on the concept of will they, won't they trope because it does nothing but drag, but Kaguya-sama Love is War is like the one exception to this rule because Kaguya and Miyuki are both super funny and enjoyable in the whole adorable way. I love these two, they make a cute couple. My favorite episode is a tie with episodes 13 and 14, and my favorite character is Chika Fujiwara. Number 28, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is an anime that takes place in the future after humanity has been stoned for 3,718 years. That's more than triple the length that Fry did from Futurama. Humanity more or less got reset to the Stone Age. Senku Ishigami is a scientist that got freed from the stone when some of the humans got freed after that time. Not all of them got freed yet, but he's gonna work his best for that when humans do get free again, they can actually go back to normal. We see some people that were the descendants of humans that went to space in 2019 that avoid getting stoned. Every human and bird apparently was stoned that year, while every other creature was fine. But some humans didn't get stoned for being in space, and they repopulated the Earth. Some mistakes are made, like freeing an evil man who will murder those he hates, but that's the price to pay for unstoning someone that you don't know about. My favorite episode is episode 5, Strong World, The Beginning, and my favorite character is the Watermelon Girl. Number 29, Spy Family. Man, Spy Family is a blast. Spy Family is a show about 3 different people, Lloyd, Anya, and Yor Forger, essentially having a fake life in order to protect the world. Each one has their own secrets per se. Lloyd is a spy, Yor assassinates people, and Anya has the ability to read other people's minds. But you put them together as a family and you get one of the greatest anime to ever exist. I really love this show. Each of our main characters have secrets that they are not allowed to reveal to the world, otherwise they get in trouble. Here's what I can gather. If Anya reveals that she can read people's minds, she'll get experimented on again, and she doesn't want that. Yor murders people in private, and she doesn't want to reveal that. And Lloyd is a fucking spy. No shit, he needs to hide that. The thing is, the secret stuff is kind of just there for me. That's not the main focus. The main focus for me is just the family dynamic in general. I really love it when these 3 just act like a normal family. That's my favorite part of the whole series. I heard they even adopted a dog later on, which is also cute. And I saw the movie, which I really enjoyed. However, if I could just point to one episode to get anyone hooked on this, it's episode 12, Penguin Park. We get to see the family doing their spy stuff while being cute. In fact, it's better to watch this episode than the actual pilot, because every episode's supposed to be part of some sort of continuity story, which kind of drags, to be completely honest. But this episode here is a solo episode in itself, and it's perfect. I really do love Lloyd, Anya, and Yor when they're like this. Oh, and for my favorite character, Yor is my personal favorite. Number 30, Oshinoko. Oshinoko is an anime about a pop star who gets murdered. She gave birth to twins, and the 2 of them end up being idols in the modern world, and they have to deal with struggles with the toxic internet. Honestly, that alone is why I have a hard time watching this now. I don't like watching stuff that I had to personally go through, especially watching a girl nearly commit suicide due to internet harassment and cancellation. I hate how this is the last one. It's not gory like Attack on Titan, but like Attack on Titan, This is an anime that I used to like, but it got too depressing for my current self to the point that I can't watch this one again. And also, apparently the twins are reborn people of a doctor and this little girl patient that were vast ages apart and died at different points in time somehow become twins now? What? I mean, I can let the different ages slide if they die at the exact same time, but they don't. Despite all that I said, I actually do think the best episode is episode 6, Ego Surfing. But that's because the heroism itself and them stating that cancel culture is not only bad, but also can be emotionally damaging. And my favorite character is Aquamarine. And that's all 30 anime. I did it. I reviewed all of them. So with all that said, let's rank them worst to best. Attack on Titan, Blend S, Oshinoko, Penny Pony Dash, My Hero Academia, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, The Legend of Snow White, Haruhi Suzumiya, One Piece, Dr. Stone, Luwich Academia, School Rumble, Magical Doremi, Kirby, Lucky Star, Stop! Hibari-kun, Assassination Classroom, Kill a Kill, Azumanga Daioh, Spy Family, Card Captor Sakura, Hamtaro, Danganronpa, Snow White with the Red Hair, Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Ghost Stories, Ace Attorney, Nichijou, and finally, Madoka Magica. Thank you for watching this video. I had a really good time just watching all these anime as a whole. And like I said, I've been getting into anime more and more as time went on. I really had a lot of fun with this. And maybe 30 Right Animation reviews from now, I'll review 30 more anime. And maybe I can do this every 30 Right Animation reviews where I take a look at different anime, 30 of them. And I really do want to explore more and more anime, not just their movies, but the television shows as well. Because for the most part, they're just really fun. Not all of them, but I do have a good time watching them. Thanks for watching this video. See you all next time.